Howdy folks, today's soap is going to be from RazoRock. It's called The Stallion. I have sent there but down below link to the soap. This soap here from RazoRock, mine came with the what I would refer to as the inner lid, extra lid, and it's a fairly soft soap. You can put your finger in it pretty easy. I've already got some scooped out with my baby spoon in my smooth bottom bowl here, and this is a aerated brush from Strike Gold Shave. You can tell it's got a badger knot if you're wondering. Yeah, I know you can't see it right now, but I've got quite a bit whipped up here. You know, just having a little bit of fun this morning. For me, this is a Saturday morning, by the way. I also got the trusty alum block with rubber band. There's witch hazel with aloe. And I also got the matching aftershave. And the shaver of the day is going to be a Schick Injector Type L. There's that handle. And it's got a Personna injector blade in it. I've already put a hot towel to the face, bloom water, and it lathered up really easy, as you can tell in the bowl as well as on my face. I mean, as soon as I put the bloom water and started working it in my face, it just started working its lather up. Should be a good shave. Temperature's starting to get a little bit cooler here. The lows are getting down around freezing, right around 33, 32 degrees. So just above freezing. I mean, it's just loaded with soap. I have been looking at the calendar for off and on probably for about 2 weeks now, on a fairly regular basis, and looking at the month of December. September, did most of that month with single edge shavers, and December, this will be the first time I will do a DE December. Feels pretty creamy. And trying to plan it out on how should I approach it with DE shavers, and also realizing that what I was going to do is on Saturdays and Sundays I would be single edges as well as shavettes, and pass number one. Realized there wasn't enough days in the month of December to do what I plan on doing. So I was going to have to change my approach. So decided, well, on Saturdays, instead of having a single edge shaver, I'll go ahead and add another additional day of DE shaving and not have any single edge shavers in the month of December. Just shavette shaves on Sunday. That was a little bit easier for me to deal with, get closer to what I was going to attempt to do. And part of it was the excuse me, for instance, you may have close to a week of adjustable razors, things like that. Trying to figure out how to make all that fit in there. Adjustables, slants, twist to open, all that sort of thing. As well as figuring out what I'm going to be doing for soap. Not saying that I don't have enough soap, it's just trying to, thinking about dividing up the more or less 4 weeks of shaving with roughly 4 different types of vendors, if you will, soap makers. I was thinking about doing that. Haven't quite decided just yet on the soap part. And as it goes for the blades, I've got enough blades where I can use a different blade for every shave. Different blade as it goes for name brand, for instance. Some I have yet to shave with, so could be an interesting shave. Hopefully none of them are. For me, there's been one DE blade that I just can't shave with. It just does not work for me, and that's the big chromium. I cannot shave with that blade. That blade just, we do not get along. That thing talk about tugging and pulling. Like G.O. Fat Boy talks about, you know, before tears start. Yeah. All I got was just a little bit on my cheek, on one cheek, and that was all the further I got with that blade. Had 3 boxes, tried a blade out of each box, and just could not find a blade that worked well. It just, oh, it was, I don't know if it's got a bad batch, or it just wasn't meant for me to use them. So far, that's been the only brand that I have tried that I just cannot shave with them. I'm just going to assume that they were a bad batch, but I guess you might say I'm also not willing to try again. Got plenty other blades that work just fine for me. There's many of them out there that I don't have a problem with using. Yeah, they do shave different, but they also give me a good shave. I'll be trying a Personna Med Prep for the first time. Only got one of those blades. Those aren't exactly cheap. Or inexpensive may be a better word to use. I have one that's called the Cue Ball. Had to get it just because of the name. Just had to. Can't pass up a blade that's called Cue Ball. Guess you might say getting a little excited, planning out the month of December, getting it to work out, since I've never done one before. The very first December that that shaving, I didn't have any idea what was going on. Didn't know there was such an animal as a SE for single edge for September, and then, you know, December being DE. I was so new to everything that didn't really understand what all was going on. It took me a moment to catch on what was going on and figure out whether I want to do something of the sort. It's going pretty good. Don't think I should have much, if any, stinging. It's a pretty good shave. I usually do get pretty good shaves with my injectors, whether it's a PAL or a Schick. Well, that knot is just full of soap. Thought about just literally doing the whole month. DE shaves, but I don't know if I can going that long without a shave. That shave would really start to bug me. I think it's going to be bad enough once a week, because I really enjoy shavette shaves, but only doing them once a week is probably might be pushing it for me. Remember seeing a posting, there's just not enough days in the week for shaving. Because I'd shave with the single edges a lot more often than just once a week. Every once in a while I'll get something new, for instance, and go a whole week with it, or at least 5 days with the shaver. I do enjoy, for me, and once again, keep in mind I shave primarily with a shavette, so what I'm used to in the way of blade feel would be different than if you're just normally shaving with a DE. But I haven't got a bad shave out of these razors yet. And the day that I do, it may come from a vintage one, and I'll look closely at the to make sure there's nothing that's went awry over the years. I mean, face it, some of these shavers are pretty old, so there's no telling what's happened to them. Damaged in shipping, could have been dropped a few times, who knows. It's kind of hard for me to fan them. I got a fuller brush over here, and this one here is the knot that came with it, and so far the bristles have been staying put, but there was a considerable amount. You might be able to tell there's gouges here, there's some paint, there was quite a bit of paint up through here. I've managed to get out without messing up the bristles too much, and how that happened, I don't know. It's just, I guess you might say, my respect for a vintage brush that has been around as long as that one has been and still in good shape. You think you show it a little bit more respect. You would think. Just me. Guess you might say I value those brushes a bit more than to treat them like that. But then again, you know, how that took place may have been after somebody, you know, didn't care for the hobby or for that way of shaving anymore. But I know for me, I really enjoy these vintage brushes. But I like the shavers. It gives me a fair idea of what the gentlemen were going through when those shavers first came out. Very close of hunting down some vintage injector blades. Use as a comparison, if you will, to how the blades are made today. See if they're about the same or quite a bit different. Heard a lot of stories about Personna 74s, and those are not cheap either. I've looked at a few of them, like, whoa, I'm not too sure if I'm prepared to get a pack of those, but I tell you what though, when I do, hopefully they stand up to the stories I've been hearing. It'll be great. Make it worthwhile. Like I said, it gives you an idea what the gentlemen, what they were going through when they were shaving back then. I realize the soap is different, but still, I could probably get pretty close though, shaving with a Pucka Williams on how the shave would go. Trimmed up my goatee just a little bit. This is a work in progress for me. never been to a barber for any trimming up or anything like that. I'll do it on my own and try to work with it. And I let it grow out quite a ways. And then I cut, Lord, about that much off. And trying to get it to shape the way that I want it to shape. And getting a lot closer to getting the, I guess you might say, that V look right through here. And getting a whole lot closer. This is getting pretty darn close to the way what I've been striving for. That and finding the right products too. I have not had quite an issue finding products in the way of a balm. Everything I have tried for my skin has done the trick. My skin doesn't get dry, irritated, or anything like that. No beard dandruff. In other words, all the products I've been trying have been working just fine. And they vary in different dollar amounts also, which is interesting, because then, yeah, I can go back, okay, well, I spent twice the money on one product that's doing, my inexpensive one at half the price is doing just as good as twice the price. So yeah, stick with the one that's cheaper. Got some witch hazel here. Been tinkering with beard oil from time to time, and the biggest difference with the beard oil for me is the, I guess you might say, the shine or the glisten that it puts on the beard, which doesn't bother me. I don't use a whole lot of beard oil. This beard oil lasts me a good long while. Still working on some of the very same bottles I started with. Still got them. I haven't emptied them out. I think I did piff one of them to oldest stepson, but yeah, they're still around. I don't use a whole lot of beard oil. Don't really need to. If you put that little bit in the palm of your hand and work it into your beard down to your skin, it doesn't take a whole lot for me. No more facial hair than what I have. You got a full beard, I understand that'll be different, but even taking some of that, what's left over in the hands and the tips of my fingers, and working in my skin, and have to say my skin's a whole lot better since I started wet shaving than what it used to be. Much better. Feels better too. Really glad I started this hobby. Stallion. Learned a lot from watching him with a straight razor before I started shaving with a shavette. In my opinion, a lot of it is transfers from the shavette side to the straight razor side. At least it does for me. You know how it goes. Your mileage may vary. It varies upon the individual, and that and how a person learns. For me, being able to see somebody shave with a straight razor or shavette, and then really be able to visualize it in my head, and then be able to visualize it while I'm doing it, for me just seems to help out. It just works well for me. It smells great. Oh, in case you're wondering, that's the restrictor size right there. Yeah, putting liberal amounts on, if that's what you're wondering. Like this, have to say, this is what I would consider a inexpensive aftershave from RazoRock. Most of theirs are. Not a bad buy. Sterling is another one that's got nice aftershave. Fanulé, TFS, I like their aftershaves too. Got this one inexpensive, but like everything else, I put a price point on them when I go out to eBay. And if whatever I'm bidding on, if it exceeds that dollar amount, I don't get that particular one. And I just keep on trying my luck until I get lucky. Hope everybody's doing well this weekend. Have fun and stay safe. Smooth shaves to you.